Good morning, students. So today we are going to start with the another one topic, that is firewalls. So all of you are familiar with this particular word, that is a firewall. Everyone is going to use this particular the firewall in a system. Uh, Either it may be their own personal system, either it may be the desktop or a laptops. So everyone is going to install this firewall to protect the system when you are connecting to the outside world. So the question is going to be raised, why we people have to install this particular firewall? What is the importance of using this particular the firewall? So it's just like that when you are connecting to the internet, you are connecting to the outside world. Is it clear? The outside world is an untrusted, the world, it is an untrusted network. So that is a lot of the people who are presented outside the network. Is it clear? They may be having a bad intention. Okay, so they can hack the information present inside your the system. Okay, they can get the information, or you can say it as they can steal the information present inside your the system. So you have to protect an unauthorized access from the outside world, that is unauthorized access of outsiders. Okay, so you are going to use this particular the firewall. So here we are going to say that the definition of a firewall, it is nothing but it is a system. A firewall is a system which is designed to prevent an unauthorized access to or from a private network. Is it clear? So it is a system which is designed to prevent an unauthorized access to or from a private networks. So if you are having a private network, say for example your industries are there, companies are there, colleges are there, universities are there, they are having their own the private networks. Is it clear? So they wanted to protect these particular networks from the intruders. Is it clear? They wanted to protect it from the unauthorized access, which it is possible when you are connecting to the outside world, when you are connecting to the internet. Is it clear? So how you are going to protect it? I'm just going to give you one simple example. Say for example in your college, okay, so in your college it is surrounded with the wall, what you are going to be call it as a compound, and then your college is having on the main entrance, okay, where the gates are there and the security guard is going to be presented. So this is the gate here which you are going to be call it as the gateway. Is it clear? This is the entrance. So where you are going to inspect that the peoples who are entering that organization and who are going outside the organization. Is it clear? So for that, what you are going to do? So security guards are there. So now here the security guards are going to act as a firewall, that they are going to inspect the people, okay, who are entering into the organization. Whether the students are entering into the organization, they are going to inspect each student with the ID card and all. If faculties are entering into that organization, okay, or either it may be the parents, or either it may be the any outside people. So you are going to give a instruction to that a particular the security guards, okay, so to whom you are that is to whom they have to allowed to enter into that particular organization and whom they have to block. Is it clear? It means that you are going to giving some rules or the and regulations to that particular, according to the rules and regulations, they are allowing these particular the pupils to enter into the organization. It is just like that the firewall is going to be allowing the particular the packets according to the rules into the network. The same way you imagine that the student, these are all the different types of the packets are there, they are coming from the outside world. So inside that particular the compound you are having an organization, it is a trusted network. Is it clear? So you don't allow this particular people to enter into your trusted network. If they wanted to communicate, if they wanted to enter inside, is it clear? Any outside person, if they wanted to enter inside, if they want to meet a principal or any particular staff, so what they have to do? So according to the rules, what you are going to say that only these people are going to be allowed at this particular time, they are allowed. So you are going to govern these particular rules. According to that, security guard is going to allow these particular people. You imagine these are all the packets, so allowing these particular packets to enter into the organization. Other packets which are entering, other people unnecessarily, those who are entering the organization are not allowed to enter. It will be blocked there only. They will not allow to enter inside your organization. Similarly, that some of the people who are present inside our organization, so without the permission they cannot go outside. Is it clear? So there is also the restrictions will be there. So this is here we are going to using the two words. One is a inbound traffic, another one is a outbound traffic will be there. Is it clear? That is the inbound traffic is that the traffic which is coming from the outside world, that is the untrusted work to your organization, where your trusted network is going to be presented. Outbound traffic is that the traffic which is going from your organization to the outside world. So you found both the sides, what type of the traffic you are allowing to go outside, at what time you are going to be allowing. So that is the rules will be defined for that security guard. Okay, similarly here also the same thing is that you are going to governing the rules to that firewall, that what type of the packet should be allowed inside the organization, what type of packet should be allowed to go outside the organization. That is rules are going to be framed for the inbound traffic as well as for the outbound traffic. Is it clear? So now the firewalls, this is the prevent an unauthorized internet users from accessing the private networks, because all these private networks, as I given the example, is it clear? Either it may be your organization, university or company, they are all connecting to the internet, they are connecting to the outside world. Is it clear? So you have to protect your internal organization, you have to secure your internal organization from the outsiders. So you are going to use this firewall, you are going to place this particular firewall in between the your company or the organization network and to the internet. So you just see this particular diagram. In this diagram, the here inside you are having that company network will be there. Okay, so it is the network which is presented inside this that firewall is a trusted network. So they wanted to protect this trusted network from unauthorized access from outside world, that is the internet. So in between you are going to place this particular firewall, and anyone, if any packet which they enter to enter inside, so it has to be passed through the firewall only. Okay, so this firewall is in turn it is connecting to the outside world. It's just like that, as I told already, that particular the gate will be there, where that security guard, through that gate only everyone has to enter inside and they have to go outside. Okay, so now here also the same thing is that the packets which are going outside organization has to be transmitted to the firewall. The packets which are entering inside, that is they are coming from the outside world, they are coming from the untrusted network, that is to the internet. Okay, so they have to be filtered by the firewall. Whether this packet has to be allowed or not, it is decided by the rules which are governed inside. So based on that, it is going to be allow the packet to enter inside the organization. Okay, so the name here, the name, why they have used this, the name, that is the firewall. So as you know that in the olden days, that is iron ore factories and all, is it clear? That is for melting the iron ore and for manufacturing that. Okay, there is a huge heat will be there, that is to protect the employees from that huge heat. They are going to constructing the wall, that is a firewall. Okay, a wall which is protecting from the fire. Is it clear? So this is the name, that is a firewall. The same name here which they are going to be used here, it is going to be act as a wall here in between the trusted network and in between the untrusted network, that is the internet. Is it clear? It is going to be stand like a firewall, that is to protect, okay, from outside world, that is to protect from untrusted the network. Okay, now there are basically here the three types of firewalls are there. Is it clear? So one is a packet filtering firewall, another one is a stateful inspection firewall will be there, and third one is the proxy server the firewall. Okay, so the first one, if you are going to see that packet filtering firewall, so what it is going to do, the name itself indicates that this particular firewall is going to filter the packets. Okay, so it is responsible, that is controls the network access by analyzing the outgoing and incoming packets. So according to the rules which you are going to fit it under that particular firewall, it is going to decide which type of the packet should be enter inside the organization and which type of packet should be go outside the organization. Say for example, if you are going to allow only HTTP packets with the port number 80, if you are going to write this rule, so whatever the packets are going to be allow that is they wanted to enter inside the organization, so with the port number 80, this is a HTTP port number. Okay, you are going to allow those packets, or you are going to write that, okay, from this particular IP address with this particular port number, okay, and to this destination machine in this organization with this port number. Okay, if you are given that specific, so only that particular the packets coming from that IP address with the port number and the destination IP address with that specific port number will be allowed to enter inside the organization. Similarly the same rules will be governed for the outgoing packets also, that is for incoming as well as for the outgoing packets. The next one here, it is we are going for the stateful inspection. So which is also sometimes they are going to be called it as a dynamic packet filtering. Is it clear? It is a most powerful firewall architecture which is going to examine the traffic streams, the continuous the streams from end to end, the packets which are moving in between the two parties. Is it clear? That is the continuous streams from one end to the another end, continuously examining all the particular packets. Okay, so in detail it is going to examine the header of that particular the packet also. Is it clear? So now these firewalls are going to be work at the network layer in the OSI model and more secure than the normal the basic packet filtering firewalls. So these firewalls uh, are that is intelligent way to ward off. Is it clear? Use an intelligent way to ward off the unauthorized traffic by analyzing the packet header. So they are going to discard the packets which are unauthorized in that particular traffic. So by analyzing the packet header, by inspecting the state of the packet. Okay, what do you mean by inspecting the state of the packet? That is nothing but it is having an idea that it is going to inspect what are the active connections now. Okay, to which the packets are going to be transmitting. So based on these particular active connections, it is going to use this information to determine, okay, which packets to allow through the firewall. Is it clear? So that's why here they are going to say it is going to work dynamically. Is it clear? So this is going to filter the packets dynamically because it is going to check what are the active connections are there. That is the state of the packet, state of active connections, by using this information to determine which packets to allow through the firewall. The next one is a proxy server firewalls are there. The name itself indicates that a proxy. Why you are going to using this a proxy? To protect the original server from the outside world. You don't want to expose your original server to the outside world. So that's why you are going to keep another one server as a proxy. Through that proxy that outside people are able to communicate. Is it clear? So even though if the attack is going to be happen, it is going to be affect the proxy server, not the original server. Original server is presented in a inside your organization, that is in the trusted network. Is it clear? So outside people is going to believe that they are communicating to the original server, but they are communicating to the proxy server. Is it clear? So this is here it is going to, that is a proxy server firewalls, also called the, it is application level gateways. Okay, so they effective protect the network resources by filtering the messages at the application layer. So these proxy firewalls is going to mask your IP addresses and limit the traffic types. Okay, now you are going to see some of the other features of this particular the firewalls. Firewalls can be used to create a multiple zones of a trust, such as a hierarchy of increasingly trusted zones. So a common arrangement involves three zones of a trust. One is the internal network, next one is the demilitarized zone, and the rest of the internet. Is it clear? So this is in between you are having a demilitarized zone, and one side you are having an internal network, on the another side you are having the internet. Is it clear? That is the internal network, the demilitarized zone, and next one is the rest of the internet, that is the outside world. The DMZ is used to hold the services. Okay, in the DMZ area, okay, it is going to hold some of the services. Some of the servers are going present over there to provide the services such as the DNS and email. So these servers are going to be placed in this area, that is in the DMZ area, that is a demilitarized zone. Okay, now that need to be accessible to the outside world. So these servers which are kept in the DMZ area, so these servers are going to provide us services that the people can access these services, that the people can be able to accessible to the outside world. Both the internal network and the outside network can access the DMZ here. Is it clear? Both the internal network, that is internal network which your trusted network, they you people can also communicate with the servers which are presented in the DMZ area, and even the people who are present in the outside world, they can also communicate with the DMZ area where the servers are presented to provide the services like a DNS or the email servers, or either it may be the file servers, either it may be the web servers with the HTTP. Is it clear? But the host in the DMZ, but the host which are presented in the DMZ cannot access to the internal network. Is it clear? The servers which are kept in the DMZ area, they are not allowed to communicate with the internal network, but the people who are present in the internal network, they can communicate with the DMZ. Okay, so one of the here the example here they have been given. Say for example, The firewall filters are going to be based on the IP address. So you can restrict the particular packets entering inside your organization or going outside the organization. Either it may be the inbound or outbound traffic based on the IP address, based on the TCP and the UDP information, that is the port numbers. Is it clear? So firewall is a configure to filter out, that is not forward all the packets that match the following description. Is it clear? So here is a one example. Okay, so you just see that this is a one of the example. Here they have been written, this is the rule, okay, which they are going to write it under the firewall. Say for example, the packet which is coming from the IP address 192.12.13.14 with the port number 1234, okay, and to the destination address which is present in the internal organ 128.7.6.5 with the port number 80. Is it clear? So now here they are going to that this pattern said discard all the packets from the port number 1234. So whatever the packets is coming from this particular port number 1234 on the host 192, okay, .12.13.14 address to the port number 80 on the host. So you are going to discard all these particular packets. It will not allow the packet to enter inside the organization. Okay, in this way you are going to write that whether you want to allow or whether you want to discard the packets. Another one example here, they are given star comma and the IP address will be there 128.7.6.5 comma and the 80 is the port number. Okay, the port number 80 here it is used for the HTTP port number. Okay, so it is going to filter out or not allowed or not forwarded all the packets addressed to this particular port on this particular the IP address, regardless of what the source host or port send the packet, whoever the sender may be, okay, whatever is the port address. Is it clear? So they are not allowed to communicate with this particular IP address machine with the port number 80. So whenever the firewall is going to identify any particular the packets coming with that any source address or any port number to this destination IP address and the port number 80, the packet will not be forwarded. Is it clear? Another one here it is that some of the firewall, so you are going to that, oh, you allow only packets of this particular port number. Say for example, you are allowing the packets which are coming to access the email server with the port number 25. Is it clear? If they are requesting the IP address of the email server and the port number 25, so you are allowing only those particular services that you are, if you want to provide services of only email. So here is an example that instructed to access to port number 25, that is a SMTP mail port on a particular mail server, star, whatever the request may be arrived, whatever the IP address and the port number, okay, present on the IP address with the destination IP address 128.19.20.21 and the port number 25. So allow these particular packets which are coming from the outside world to communicate with the mail server. Okay, so this is here some of the examples that how you people are going to write the rules and regulations to set up the to filter the packets, that is for inbound and outbound traffic. The next one we are going to see about what are the strengths and weaknesses of the firewalls. Okay, a firewall packets a network from undesired access from the rest of the internet. A firewall is going to protect a network from undesired access from the rest of the internet. It is going to protect your internal organization. Firewalls can be deployed unilaterally. A more fundamental reason for the dominance of firewall is that they encapsulate security in a centralized place. In a centralized place, you are going to be keep it. Administrator is having a control over that. Okay, he can set the rules and all everything from the centralized place. He is going to manage it. Firewall helps organization enforce their security policies and the safety measures according to their organization. Whatever packet they wanted to allow inside the organization, whatever packet they wanted to send or block, everything, whatever safety measures they wanted to take. So depend of the organization, they can define their own policies and the safety measures, and according to that they can write these policies or they can set these options into the firewall. Okay, they can write these rules into the firewall. Firewall implement access controls where access to certain network services can selectively assigned to specific groups to the authentication. Even you are having access control will be there, so where you are going to provide that only the specific group is having an authentication to access this service, others are not allowed. So that one also can be implemented with the help of the firewall. Firewall also allow network owners to evaluate and monitor the traffic entering the network. Okay, whatever traffic is entering inside our organization, everything, that analysis also you are going to do, whether it is a heavy, moderate, and all these things. Firewalls are able to alert network owners and users of any suspicious network activities. So sometimes when you see that huge number of traffic is entered inside organization, if it is above the normal base, so immediately they are going to generating the alert messages and give the information to the owner. The next one, if you are going to see about the weaknesses of the firewall, firewall does not restrict the communication between the hosts that are inside the firewall. Is it clear? So attacks carried out from within the network system are not detected by the firewall. You doesn't know that if the person who is having a bad intention may be present inside your organizations also. Is it clear? So he is responsible for that attack. So firewall doesn't identify the attacks which are carried out from within the network system. Any parties granted access through your firewall, such as a business partners, okay, or extremely located employees, become a security vulnerabilities. Sometimes you are allowing some of your business partners, okay, so to access the information present inside your organization, they may present outside somewhere else, and through the internet they are accessing. So for them you are going to be allow, and some of your employees also, as are shown in the diagram in the remote place, if your employees are presented over there, you are allowing your employees to connect to your server and access the information in the database. But it is sometimes it may become a vulnerability. Okay, security vulnerability chances are there. Okay, sometimes that is the area which is exposed to the damage. That is the meaning of vulnerability. Another problem for firewall is that services that appears safe to expose may have a bug that make it unsafe. Okay, so still other differences are there. Once a permission is granted, the firewall's ability to protect or filter is limited. Okay, say for example, once the user has given the permission to that is in the email, that is a permission to allow the spam emails. Is it clear? So that will are going to enter into the inbox. The email filtering firewall will never stop the emails from the accepted address, even it has a malicious links or the viruses. Is it clear? So because you have given the permission to allow the spam emails. Okay, so some of others are there, you just go through it. That is the weaknesses of a firewall. The next I just wanted to discuss about another one, that is a malware. What do you mean by the malware? Malware is nothing but a malicious software, a software which is having a bad intention, a software which is going to harm. Is it clear? So such a software we are going to be call it as a malware or a malicious software. Okay, so that is designed to act on a computer in a ways concealed from and unwanted by the computer users. So some of the examples are there, either it may be the viruses, worms, and the spywares are the common type of a malware. Okay, now these viruses and worms are characterized by the ability to make and spread the copies of themselves. Virus is a complete program, that is worm is a one of the complete program, and it is an independent one. It can make as many number of copies and duplicate copies. Okay, it is going to consume the system resources. But virus is not a independent, it is just a bit of code. So always it is going to be attached with any piece of a software which is present inside the system. When that piece of software it is going to be in execution mode, along with that this set of code is going to be executed. Okay, now what do you mean by the spyware? Spyware is a software that without authorization it collects and transmits all your private information about your computer systems, okay, about the users. Is it clear? So this is what you are going to be called as a spyware. Okay, so here we have completed the topic firewall. Okay, so in the next class we are going for the another one topic. Thank you very much.